You're listening to The Audacity Effect, where bold moves, real talk, and zero permission slips are just how we do things.
We're Jenna and Kelly, two corporate pros building bigger lives on our terms and helping you do the same.
Whether you're launching something new or burning down what no longer fits.
We've got stories, strategies, and sarcasm to match. Let's get audacious.
Bold moves, real talk, no permission slips. Gotta give him my all. Nobody's gonna tell me what to do with this. There is no blueprint, just my audacity. Done with permission. My dreams might need a pivot, might need a new scheme. Call it Audacity Effect.
Hi.
Oh, hi.
So there's so many special things happening.
There are a lot of special things happening.
I'm one of the special things.
Yeah,
but
I'm
not
bless
the
your
good
heart.
kind.
I love you.
But we also have a special friend.
Yay!
Makes it sound different than I mean it.
But also probably appropriate.
Let's just say within the Audacity crew, she's one of the odd squad.
Yes, yes, she is. We love you.
We have
Double entendre kind of odd.
Yes, but that's why I love you,
ODD.
because you appreciate things.
Mhm.
I interviewed somebody this week for a role on my team, and one of the things that I sent them was a haiku test. And I put on top, very important, critical to being hired, haiku test.
Yes.
That's because I like to use haikus at work
Mm-hmm.
for funsies. Anyway, we have a special, what would you call it? Guest co-host.
Guest co-host.
Our friend, Dr. Shalimar Andrews is here today.
Oh, shit.
Very professional. Just
Yeah.
kidding. She won't be professional at all. This is
0% chance.
the non-doctor version.
The
She's
non-doctor.
like, what? What do you do if you have a cut? I don't know. You should probably let a dog lick it. That's the Shali that we
Do you want my professional opinion or my opinion as your friend?
Yes. Which I
Yes.
love both. I love both, please.
We were actually just talking about Taylor Swift and how funny that she is.
I just
on her
love Tay Tay.
podcast.
I was just saying that I was super nervous about coming on a podcast because I most recently watched her episode on the podcast with Taylor's boyfriend, whatever that guy's name is.
Travis Kelce,
Some football player.
tight end.
Yeah, no, I'm
Okay.
I was more familiar with him and his podcast than I was with Taylor Swift before that. But
Yeah.
since watching that podcast, I've gone down like a tremendous Taylor Swift rabbit hole. And
Mhm.
now I'm not, at a place where I can consider myself a Swiftie, but I'm like working on it.
Yeah, we're
really
gonna get you
hard.
there.
Yeah.
But for feminists everywhere, I love calling him Taylor's boyfriend.
I like
do
because
too.
He's very obviously
Yeah.
professionally successful in his own
Yes.
right, but how many females get called, oh, so-and-so's wife?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
they're a doctor.
Yeah,
I
they're a
saw
doctor.
a thing the other day that was like, well, now that he's ready to settle down, I'm sure he'll do what's right and give up his
Last name.
job, take
Yeah.
her last
Yeah.
name, because she's obviously the primary breadwinner.
Yes.
So he will take his place in the home. And I was like, that's my favorite. We should put that on a T-shirt.
As he should.
If you would like to make a man crash out, one of the fun things I like to say is, she put Travis Kelce on the map, which I know for sure she did not, but I just like to say it and see their face.
Behind every
But for
Taylor
a
Swift
huge number
tour.
of people, she really outside of people who watch professional football, which is my favorite of the clips of that. is
Yeah.
where she's like, I know what your listeners want more than anything.
Yes.
It's
yes.
more of me on their TV screens. And I was like, oh, at least you can kind of poke fun at the fact
Yes.
that she knows that she has caused such a ruckus in football. But I do like that there's people on the other side of the coin who have appreciated the fact that she brought American football to a completely
Yeah.
different audience. And
Yeah.
there are tons of dads whose, daughters and wives and, people
They're
who
also
otherwise
now really pissed off.
yeah, there are many who do not appreciate
There
it,
are
but there are
couple hours of
some-
Sunday solidarity
Yeah.
is now ruined by the doctor going, oh my God, is that
There she
her?
is. There she is.
wearing the Taylor's boyfriend t-shirt.
I love having daughters. Cherish that quality time, dads.
Hmm.
Well, I have
Yeah.
a story,
Oh,
not about Taylor Swift,
All right. Well, fine.
but it happened to me today. And it doesn't necessarily have to do with anything that we're talking about today, but I just really wanted to tell it.
Please tell.
So I was on the way with Joshua to go scrub mildew and mold off the ceiling of my rental property this morning, which
Everyone's favorite
Oh,
Liberty
that sounds like
activity.
so much
I
fun.
was really looking forward to doing. So my face was thrilled.
Mm-hmm.
We had stopped at Tractor Supply on the way, which I don't really know who you are if you don't know Tractor Supply, but it has horse and dog and random paraphernalia in it for purchase.
Sure.
It's like a farm equipment and hardware store and like whatever
And
other
trinkets.
interesting-
Trinkets, yeah.
Yeah.
And farm clothes. Anyways, so we stopped there, frequented often.
Cool.
I was very neatly decked out in a plaid shirt, this weird stained tank top, green leggings, and black mismatched socks that were in my leather slide sandals that had been bitten by dogs. So I looked
Classic Jenna
so
uniform.
right, pretty
Lovely. So
pretty
pretty.
normal. I was gonna say not really out of character.
So pretty. She's so pretty.
And he said he needed to get something. And I said, I need to get a couple things too, but I didn't bring my wallet. So we'll just, meet you at the register. So I went and collected, and if you've ever seen a pitchfork for cleaning stalls, I broke the fork part off my favorite pitchfork. It snapped. So you can just buy the fork part.
Oh.
So I picked up that and some conditioning hoof oil for the horse's feet and a 16-pound bag of dog food. Not my own feet. They should also use some conditioning. There was a natural version with aloe vera. I probably could have got. Anyways.
Okay.
So I was walking around with the dog food bag on my shoulder and my fork and my oil.
Oh.
And I was trying to find Josh, and he kept saying, wait a minute. And I was, okay, fine. So there was like a pallet of shavings at the register. So I finally got sick of following her around. So I just sat down with my materials on the pallet and just waited. And I guess I was just staring straight ahead. Who knows what I was thinking of. And all of a sudden, I hear a voice that says, are you okay? And it was a very nice lady, maybe 40s or 50s, like kind of mom energy, but not grandma. Like very, nice looking. And she was looking at me with the concern of someone that thinks that she has identified a sex trafficking. And I looked up, and it took me a minute to process her concern because I'm my own little homeless
twice
world.
if you're under duress.
Correct. And I looked at my pitchfork, and I'm like, oh no, I'm just waiting for the wallet man.
Oh.
At the time,
I'm sure that helped her.
her face looked nowhere near more comforted. And then
She
I
takes
thought,
out her cell phone and starts to dial 911.
the wallet man. That's what because anyways, it made sense in my head. And then I saw Josh over in the corner, and I felt like a child who had been telling the adults, like, hey, there's somebody outside. And they're like, okay, honey. And then I'm like, no, look, they do exist. They're real. So I'm like, okay. And she's probably sitting at home now talking to her husband or her wife. I don't know what she had. I really think I should have
I should have
helped
said
that girl
something.
today.
I
homeless
should have
lady
done
on board.
something. I should have done
Well,
something.
luckily, this nice man seemed to take pity on her.
And I got back to the truck. I was like, Josh, I think she thought that I was either having a mental break or I was being sex trafficked. I said, and I was really thinking about it. But I mean, that was the strange things that I had in my hand.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like I had he's like, yeah, it's not like you had popcorn and a bottle of water and you were contemplating if you were going to feed or hydrate your family. And I'm like, well, that's true. But I don't know if there's rules for these things.
I also
In
like
fact,
that
it's fun.
after describing your outfit, the first place that you went was sex trafficking, because that's like hotness. Like, yes, this is what people are looking for.
Okay,
They're
I'm
going to pay for this.
It's
So
not being
pretty.
sex trafficked,
She's
trafficked
so
supply.
pretty.
I did have a plaid flannel. Like, that might be what they are.
Yeah, that's true.
And
Probably
my clientele would be old men because they really seem to be into me, especially if they have pot bellies and trucks.
Oh, I could see that.
Yeah.
Yep, I could see that.
Anyways,
Mhm.
that has nothing to do with anything other than, hold on, I can come up with a tie. I know it.
Come on.
What we want to talk about today is how there's sort of unspoken contracts that we have with each other that we don't say out loud. And that
Mhm.
can result in our relationships and communication overall deteriorating because I assume you know something or think you already know what I mean or what I need, but I don't ever say it. And the other person actually has no idea what's going on. So perhaps what I should have done today is made my face look a bit more engaged, because perhaps what I thought everyone knew was that I was really pissed off because I was waiting to have to go scrub mold off my rental property ceiling, but I was giving, she's in distress.
Perhaps you should have communicated to the wallet man
Yes,
that you were
there we go.
already
Yeah.
somewhat frustrated
Yes.
with the situation that you may or may not have attributed
Yes,
in some
Shali,
way to
that's
his behavior. I'm not sure.
I did that when I was aggressively scrubbing the wall
But
in
then
the bathroom.
have
Yeah.
Let's not listen to me again.
maybe before that been like, hey, if you could not do the dilly-dally
Yes.
and also let the rage grow as I sit here upon my palette of feelings with my pitchfork of anger.
It was a pitchfork of anger, And then, after I rage scrubbed in the bathroom, I had to leave. And because he's like, why don't you just go out? You know, he could tell I was getting pissed at him. So that's when I climbed back up my ladder to scrub the living room ceiling, and I got the rubbing alcohol in my eye.
Oh,
yeah, I forgot about that.
So it's been a day.
The rage.
It's been a day.
And then my eye was watering. I wasn't crying. I was just angry. So he comes out and he's like, oh, babe, what's the matter? You don't want to know, really? Yeah. But also there's alcohol in my eye. And then he goes, oh, I got it in my eye, too. I'm like, no, it clearly doesn't bother me.
Oh.
As much as me.
So what could you have said to Josh?
Today or previously?
Oh, just
well, before you get to ragey scrubbing.
Well, I feel as though I said it, but apparently I didn't say it well enough. So my issue with him is that I try not to be a know-it-all. I really do. Even though...
You know it all?
I do kind of know it all.
I'm right. It's hard when you have great and appropriate
instincts.
Opinions about everything.
Yes. But I try not to be so annoying all the time because I understand, right? It can be almost condescending. But I knew this was an issue a while ago. And I knew the fan wasn't installed correctly the first time. And I knew. I'd been asking for a year to send somebody over there. And it was, just trust me, it's not that big of a deal. La-di-la-di-la. So I think perhaps, I don't even know. He kept saying he was calling somebody and someone was coming and someone was coming. Maybe I should have just booked, or I think I should have set maybe better boundaries and expectations. Because actually that's what I ultimately did this time. I said, hey, here's the thing. I understand that you have friends that you have made relationships with that'll take care of us and make sure we don't get price gouged. But that is no longer the most important thing to me. The most important thing to me now is getting this problem taken care of. So if you cannot get someone confirmed to be at the property by the end of this week, I will start looking for somebody to call to go to the property. And then now there's somebody going there, fixing it tomorrow. So that one I'm still not actually very sure about. It seems to be, do you know when you have an awareness of all of the sort of optics of the communication, like how the other person is feeling, and you're trying to take that into account? But
yeah, it's hard because it's so difficult especially when you're in moments of like stress or urgency in any kind of way, to wrap your mind around like, what could they possibly be thinking, as opposed to this is what needs to happen right now. And so I guess the bigger question is like, how do you get to the point where you aren't in that place of urgency so that you can actually have the conversation beforehand? And it's been a struggle for me too. Like, because I expect you to know what I need. And I expect you to understand the thing that I kind of said, maybe not as articulate as I wanted to say it, but you should know because you know me. Why don't you know?
Right. Or if I know what you're most likely feeling, which is, let me handle it, or it seems as though anything that is really important to me, the more urgent it is to me, the more of an annoyance it is to him. And the more I'm just being over dramatic about it, right?
Yeah.
But then I know that, again, there's a history of him feeling like I am talking down to him or being condescending or being a know-it-all or not trusting him to handle things, which is fair because in my head I'm thinking, yeah, I'm asking you about this for the 20th time. I don't trust you to handle it. I think you're going to forget. So.
But do you ever say that?
Only when I'm rage scrubbing.
Oh, right. Yeah. So, like, yeah.
Like, irritable.
And I certainly have not ever been able to apply this in my own life, but I'm like so much better at living other people's lives than I am at living my own.
Then why do you think we have this podcast?
Like, obviously, this is the right answer. Have I ever done this? 0% chance. But perhaps in a time when you are less emotionally charged, being like,
right after
this has been the
That's my favorite.
Yes.
For pattern of behavior, which is why I feel this way, which is why I respond this way, and then giving him a chance to be like, well, this is because I feel like we all have a tendency to, when things are going well, not want to address
fair
issues because you don't want to like mess up things when they are good.
Yeah, for sure.
So then you wait until they explode, but then you're at a place where you're both so emotional that you can't
rage scrub.
You can't just ask for what you want because now you want to ask for it all and you want to yell it. instead of like
Yes.
having any sort of reasonable conversation.
So my yes, and I also have had a habit of saying
Let me choose the right word here.
It's been a pattern of
That's a positive word choice.
because my thought is I would never let this happen. Like if I saw that that's what you needed, I would just take action. Like I wouldn't need for you to say all of these words because it's feelings and nobody needs all those feelings. And so like I would see that, okay, this is where you are. And so I just take care of it. So why can't you see that with me?
Because, and speaking from someone who sits on the other side of things,
Yes.
as I was saying before we started this, I was like, oh, I will be different in that I am the kind of person who like
She's the
needs
Josh.
you. Yeah. I am
We
the
have
Josh.
this conversation.
Yes.
It's the Jenna.
Yes.
I
the
need
Jen.
someone to tell me what you need because I sit on the side of this spectrum, we'll call it, where like I am not emotionally intuitive in that way at all. And so I do not see what other people need outside of like whatever the factual situation is right now. And so if you don't tell me, I just assume everything is wonderful. And then I am often totally blindsided.
How blissful.
Yeah.
Oh my
I
God.
spent a lot of time being blindsided by like, I did not even know that you were mad about that.
Well,
Because I
and
just
do you have constantly hypervigilantly scan the environment to see if someone's mad at you?
Oh,
Maybe?
no. I just assume everyone is mad at me all the time. It's
Oh.
different. Yeah.
Oh.
I'm like, I
Oh.
said stupid stuff and everyone thinks I'm an idiot and everyone is always mad.
What?
So I just assume, I sit on that side of it where I just assume that everything is all messed up all the time.
Okay,
Or
because
perfect.
you can't decipher,
Because
and
I
so
don't
instead of like
have
guessing, you
that.
just pick one and
Yeah.
go with it. Like la la la, it's that one. Is that
Mhm.
fair?
Yeah. Or I
Okay.
just assume that what people say is what they mean.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's I'm
Mhm.
working on being better at that.
Mm-hmm.
Like
But
I
they
am the
don't
one
usually.
who's like, I do things because I do them. And then if you do nothing back, I always assumed you would never do anything back. You know, I never assumed I would get like
Yeah.
a reciprocation for a favor.
Yeah, I'm
because
so bad about that. I do
I-
want reciprocation.
Yeah. And then I am pleasantly surprised when people do stuff.
So I don't think I want reciprocation of a favor like that. I don't go into, I'm married to no outcome where that's concerned. I'm doing something because I want to and I want to help and that's just the end of it. But in relationships and feelings,
The
feelings,
real F
Girl,
word.
the real
Yes.
F word.
Just don't have
What?
that anymore. But
So, right. In relationships and feelings, like I just don't know that I want to say all the things. As a matter of fact, I don't want to say all the things.
You're like, wait,
I-
I do know.
I don't. Like, I just want it to be known. But also, what I've been told is, I'm not you.
yes.
So,
So I don't know how you feel about how I feel
yes.
about how you feel.
Yes.
I just don't know
See,
stuff.
it's
Yeah,
funny.
I
We're
have-
actually all different here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because we've had this conversation
Mhm.
before, too, where I'll be more of the Mylon and she's more of the Josh. Because I'd be
Mhm.
like, I don't know what you want unless you use your words to tell me because you're very bad at clues.
Mhm.
And you're like, but if I tell you, that's scary.
Yes.
I'm
That's
like,
me. Yes.
But I feel like I'm doing it wrong, but I don't know how to do it right.
And so why do I need to have that conversation? Like, you should just
Why
know.
can't you
Like-
just know? I know you. Why don't
you just know me?
me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We don't.
Oh.
We are dumb.
Mm.
We don't understand.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
I was listening to another podcast actually earlier today, which got me thinking about this and
Mhm.
other conversations I've been having with folks lately. And it was a call-in podcast, and someone was describing their situation where they felt like they were always there for their friends, and their friends never reciprocated
Mm.
and showed up for them when this person needed their friends. And she continued to talk about how she did this, and like she carried their emotional burdens. She called and checked in on them, and she did this and she did that. And the longer she was talking, I was like, you're kind of being whiny. Like, why don't you just tell them that you would really like them to call you? Or why don't you pick up the phone and call them and say, hey, do you have a minute to talk? And then I think the person that was hosting the podcast said something to the effect of, so sometimes the way you're showing up for other people is you're just trying to mirror how you want them to show up for you. And that's not how it works.
No, it's not.
And I think the do unto others rule makes it extra confusing, right? Because do unto others what you would have them do unto you. Sure, that's like, be a good human. Don't leave your trash on the side of the road like this freaking waste of space that I saw at lunch yesterday. Oh my God. Anyways, another story. But if the way that you want to be, like, you still have to articulate it. And then I think that's part of being in relationships, whether it's like a friendship or a partnership romantically, that helps you or supposed to help you grow. Because I not only have to figure out what I need and then ask for it and be vulnerable enough to ask for it, but then I also have to ask what you need, and I have to figure out how to change to show up to support you in the way that feels right for you. I can't just do this silent signaling and expect you to figure out, like, oh, you make me lunch every day before I go to work. You want me to make you lunch. Oh, nope, I didn't marry that anyway.
So, yeah, I think the golden rule is more like do unto others as you would want them to do unto you, and not as you would expect them to do unto you, you know?
Oh.
And so it's like,
hey, who invited Shali?
That out in the world in a way to, like,
you're doing terrible.
You're a good person, but not necessarily.
Looks like we're out of time.
Oh, wow.
This recording is not working.
Oh my
We just start
gosh.
over. Yeah, and that's what I've been working on most lately is I don't know consciously that I have expectations of people. I only know when I start feeling resentful and stomping around and being like, this, that, like, I can't even do that. And then I'd be like, oh. I've grown, though, because I realize when it's happening, I can kind of catch it in the moment and think, did you ask that person for that thing?
I have to tell my Jenna, if I do something or I say something and you can interpret that action or that phrase in one of two ways, and one of them makes you very angry and the other one does not, maybe, like, try assuming that I meant the one that does not make you mad.
Yeah.
If I want you to be upset, I will
sure
likely make sure that my intentions are known. Like, that's who I am.
Yeah.
And I think that, like, both sides of the relationship get that, like, you expect me to know you, but then you don't necessarily know me either, you know? Like, eventually, if you spend enough time with these people, you know that one friend you have is never going to send you a postcard when they go on an international vacation, no matter how many postcards you send them.
Yes.
They're never going to be the person who, like, remembers to call you before the day they show up in your state, which I just did to my friends again, because they're just bad at that, you know? But, like, you have to know them as much as you expect them to know you, and then somehow communicate so that you guys can find a place to meet in the middle. Again, not a thing I do, just a thing that I would recommend.
Yeah, so that is something.
That's right now, maybe.
What did I say?
What are the So that's something that I believe I've worked through with my friends. Like, I'm the one that calls. Like, I'll text. Like, I do out of nowhere, and because I'm thinking about you, and I do not expect that from anyone else. Because I used to, and my feelings were always hurt when it didn't happen. I like to send random cards in the mail for no reason. I like doing that. That's fun. Do I get random cards in the mail? No. But am I attached to that? Like, no. I do that because that's what I want to do, and not, like, what I expect them to do back. And so that's, like, I had to make that distinction.
How did you change that framing, I guess, in your mind, like, just more intentionality before, like, when you sat down to write the card, like, ask yourself, what do I want when I send this card, like, as a silly example? Or how did you?
Well, in theory, yeah. So, like, my intention is to let you know that I'm thinking about you and that I love you. My intention is not to do that and also make sure you do it too. So there's, like, my intention has nothing to do with anyone else, but that's how I'm feeling at the moment.
But do you think it's okay? I'm not going to ask, like, a leading question. I think then in turn, though, that is something that would make you feel seen and loved and valued, perhaps. So it's not an expectation, like, I'm sending a card because I want you to send one back. But if that's an act of service that would make you feel loved as a friend, should you not say to your friends, hey, right? So I would never do that, but I need to maybe be better about it because if I'm
You're like, but I'm thinking about going and getting a card and sending it to Kelly right now.
right, but it feels burdensome for me to be like, hey, Shali, I love when you're home and you text me to go get a pedicure. And so if you could do that more often, but then I'm burdening you in putting but then also as my friend, perhaps you want to know what makes me feel seen. So if you said, hey, I love getting cards in the mail, I'm like, okay, making a note. I might not send you a card every month, but I love you and I care about you. And if I know that makes you feel nice,
might make the effort.
I would like to make the effort. So I think that's where the mutual learning about each other is important. But if we don't tell other people and we just assume, and some people are really good at it, some people pick up on it, but most people don't, and I think we have to walk away from it being intentional. Because I guess it's not that I want someone to reciprocate, like, I sent you a card, now you send me one. But I think you can start feeling unseen, unloved, and uncared for if no one is showing up for you in the way that makes you feel cared about, maybe?
Yeah, I see that. I think that I just don't expect it. And so, like, would I like it? I mean, who wouldn't like that? But I just don't expect it. It's like a gift.
See, I get a card in the mail and I'm like, how long do I wait before I put this into the garbage?
See?
It was lovely.
Yes.
So nice.
Yes.
But I try to see, like, because I have a friend who every time she travels or goes anywhere, she sends me a card or a postcard or a something. And so I know that is her way, right? And so I get it. And I'm like, that is so very sweet of you. I know that you are now thinking of me, and I then, in whatever way I show her that I also, then, and I've never really specifically said, Bridget, you're never getting a card from me. But I try to do the things that then I do, and somehow we've made that friendship work. So I don't know if she's the one who keeps in touch, and I am the one who appreciates her keeping in touch with me.
But I think but I think that that's how people, like, that's how I show love.
Yeah.
I don't expect you to show me love that way too.
Right.
I just don't have, like, I have a friend that comes, every time she comes over, she brings me flowers. And I love flowers, and that's the sweetest thing in the world. Every time I go to her house, I don't bring her flowers. But if I go to Trader Joe's and see some delicious chocolate, you best believe, like, I'm going to make sure she has some. Like, but that's,
right.
I don't know that that's necessary.
But I think sometimes the relationships that end up working sort of easily are the ones where you kind of recognize those things in each other without having to have the uncomfortable conversations. But then sometimes, particularly in, like, more romantic relationships or relationships that you're going to, continue for long periods of time, having those conversations and being like, hey, when I do this is me showing you, like, what do you do? So that I can recognize it better, so that I'm not resentful when I'm like, man, I feel like I do all this stuff for you and you don't do anything back. Or if you feel like you're in that kind of a relationship with someone, then, like, maybe that relationship isn't serving you. So you either need to have a conversation where you're like, I need more from this, or you just...
Okay, plot twist. How about when someone does a ton of things for you, like puts fresh sheets on your bed and does your laundry and cleans your house and does all of these amazing things, and then you feel kind of guilty and like a slacker because it makes you feel some kind of way when other people do a lot of things for you, and I don't feel like I'm giving enough in return. So there's that. But then I feel like there's, like, a lot of quarters in that piggy bank, but there's this other piggy bank, which I did use my big girl words and said this. I said, I want to ask you for something more over here.
This is hypothetical.
Hypothetically.
Not
specific.
Not about my marriage. Nobody puts clean sheets in my bed and floofs my pillows before I go to sleep.
What? Never. Keep going.
Shuts off the closet light and brings
But then
me
you're
water.
like, but I have asked you to do this other thing.
Yes.
Which
Wow,
has
I
gone
love this.
undone.
And, like, I just want to make sure, I see this. I feel so loved. And I know you take it. Yeah, you take time to do it. And I said, honestly, the best part about it is you somehow truly never expect anything back from me in return. And that has been very hard for me to accept.
Yeah.
Because I always, as soon as somebody does something for me, I hate it because I feel guilty.
Because you're like, okay,
now what I gotta do?
Something. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so tired. I don't have time to think of something to do. Like, I want to, but I don't. I know.
Your side, and now I have to figure out a thing.
Again, I haven't navigated through that all the way, but I'm aware of it. But it makes it harder for me then to ask, like, hey, you do so much over here. I love that. Thank you. unfortunately, you can't like overfill this piggy bank and then it like flows into this one over here. This one's still empty and it like needs a deposit. Like, I need you to listen when I say the rental property needs to be taken care of, because when you just push me off, it doesn't matter how many times you fluff my pillows, I sleep very well, but this is still empty over here. Like, what are some ways to navigate those relationships? Which I said it kind of like that. Like, I, make sure because I don't want to walk into the conversation and be like, yeah, you do so much for me, but it's not enough. Right. You're still not doing this, therefore you suck.
It's tough to do the like, it's like compliment
the
sandwich or
yes,
whatever.
Yeah, the compliment sandwich.
Like, I appreciate you for doing this. Really wish you would do this.
But I appreciate yes.
And what you think I don't appreciate this, I do appreciate this. Never asked you to do that. But I do see it. I validate you doing that. But do you see that I asked you to do this other thing? And then sometimes when I see you doing the thing that I still appreciate, I almost resent you for doing that thing.
Yes.
Did that
because
instead of
you
looking
did that.
at it, like,
Yes.
Thank you. That's
Damn
where it's going.
Yeah, you're
Damn
like,
it.
okay.
Yeah.
So we could have just slept on those other sheets and you could have fixed the fan. Hypothetically speaking.
I love dirty sheets.
Not that this is you or
No,
anything.
I
No.
think that person
God.
hypothetically
Right.
is fine with
Asking
sheets
for
that
a
the dogs
friend.
have slept. Yeah, the friend gets her pillows floofed.
So I always think about love languages and the love language trap, because like, you tell people your love language,
Yeah.
and then in your mind, like, they have it, they've walked in, but not necessarily so. And a lot of times you love people in your love language, and you have to step outside of your love language in order to see theirs.
Yes.
So I feel that perhaps in that situation, that other person's love language is acts of service.
Correct. And that person theoretically understands that I get overwhelmed. I mean, this person gets overwhelmed. No, heck, it's me. I get overwhelmed. Spoiler alert.
So much easier.
I know you're all in suspense. Like, who could this be? I get overwhelmed, and it's helpful for things to be taken off my plate. Problem is, the person then still kind of takes their own love language and applies it to the one that you've told them you need. So cool, I'll take things off your plate. I'm good at getting the laundry done, cleaning the house. Like, it still sort of gets, and this is a lesson for me too, to be reflective and think, okay, how do I do that, right? Because it's easy to point out other ways people show up trying to meet your love language, but to your point, it still looks like theirs.
Yes.
Right. Like, you could very easily have 3 other people sitting at this table having very similar conversations on the other side.
Oh, yeah. I mean, weird. Yeah.
I fully acknowledge this is my one-sided opinion, and he absolutely has the same.
Oh, my God.
I mean, we will have them on Monday, and they can just sit here, and we'll be like,
yes. What?
Perfect. I don't know why anyone would
I
want
am
to
a
spend all
precious
of their time
angel.
with me.
What are you
it's a
talking about?
light. It's a privilege to live.
It is
when I leave random socks in the couch.
You love me.
People do that with the socks.
What is
I've
it?
really worked on it. He the other day said, thank you for, I haven't had to pick up any socks off the couch.
Oh, that's
in the last 6
sweet.
months. And I'm like, yes, I've been working on that and closing the doors
it
of the
just
cupboards. And
that they offend your feet at that exact moment?
yes,
And you
because
just-
I hate things touching my feet, and they get so hot, and I don't even know I'm doing it. It's like, when you finish a workout and you just like have to take your shirt off.
Yeah.
Or you have to take your shoes
Yeah,
off.
no, I identify with
it's
that.
like
but
that.
then I
Like, I
immediately
just-
pick them up and put them somewhere where they're supposed to go.
I just forget. It's like I go in like a haze.
Yeah, now the socks
I
are
don't know what's happening.
Just
And I only take one off because it's just one, because I can't take both off.
Yeah.
So he's
then-
like, do you know how many single socks?
Yeah.
And so I don't. I've been working.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But have you ever, like, very specifically said, I really need this task done in this period of time? Like, specifically, and not just been like, it would be nice if this got done.
I have
sometime.
asked, but the time frame thing is something I've actually just recently started adding in, and that's been tremendously helpful.
Have you considered, not that I know this person well at all, but have you considered putting it in his calendar?
I have done that.
Okay.
I started emailing. I did
Okay.
that a couple weeks, got in a big fight about something else. I don't know. And so instead of, I'm sending you an email so you have time to process what I'm saying and think about it.
Mhm.
and respond. And that was helpful. I still had to bring up the conversation, which was irritating. But I do think it was a more productive conversation because he did have time to
process,
think about it instead of turning into a human tree. Like, you just threw this at me. I wasn't prepared. And then I get irritated and feel rejected or ignored because you can't say anything. So I took that as he doesn't care, and really, two people at this table maybe were like, maybe he needs time to process.
Yes.
He agreed to do the thing, and then he forgot. He forgot to do the thing, and then the thing became
so I've tried to
not his priority, but it is still your priority.
Time frames help because he says, because I think in his mind, he did not do it. He just didn't do it yet. Right? And I didn't say, I would like this to be done within the next 2 weeks. Right? And so I just recently started experimenting with that. And actually, when I came here last week, I left and I said, I would really like you to find somebody to come to the rental house by the end of this week or within the next week, please, because it's stressing me out. And I understand if it's not a big priority to you, but it really is to me. So within the next week, can you please find somebody or let me know, and then I will work on it.
Yes.
And he had somebody out there on Friday.
Yeah.
So
those
that's
of us
great.
who love to wait till the last minute to do
if there's
sometimes
no
it's to make it the last
Oh my
minute.
God,
If
the
you don't
last
put it-
minute.
yeah.
Why? Why?
Because that's my most productive minute of the day.
It makes me so
my
twitchy. So
My oldest
twitchy.
stepson could be my child. And recently he decided to go to college out of state, and so then decided to do every single thing at the last minute. And of course, because he's also tremendously tenacious like me, despite the fact that everyone was like, this is going to be a disaster, and the funding and the stuff and the everything, everything of course happened.
Of course.
It all fell into place at the exact last minute. And in a very snarky, very me kind of way, he's like, do you know what I have learned from all of this? And I was like, absolutely nothing. He's like, that I can make it happen. And I was like, oh God, that is not the lesson. That's not the lesson. But that is sometimes the lesson that has been reinforced over time for people who can figure out how to make stuff happen at the last minute. So if you don't give us a last minute, we will just let that task linger.
Yeah, well, there's no adrenaline rush at the last minute if you don't wait to the last minute, and then there's no incentive to do it because there's no stress assist.
Right. But you have this little stress all the time that's like, oh, I should do that thing. I should do that thing. I should do that thing. But it never really it never hits you enough to trigger action until you have a deadline. So, and I think that comes back to the figuring out, looking at what motivates the other person and then trying to see their course of action from their point of view instead of from yours.
Okay, so for just that moment, I sat in Jenna's seat, and I'm exhausted with that.
Yeah, it is exhausting.
I am.
Wait, real Jenna?
Real Jenna.
Okay.
Real Jenna.
I was like,
not my Jenna.
Jenna. Pretend.
But also probably
real
my Jenna.
Your Jenna,
exhausted with me and my way of doing that too.
Yeah, but that would be.
Although my Josh is also a tremendous procrastinator, or my Jenna is a tremendous procrastinator.
Really?
So,
Yeah.
I can be about certain things, but not.
But see, the thought of that sounds exhausting. Because now you
have to figure
it's a
out
constant,
the other people.
And it's a mental load all the time.
Yes.
And that's
your
exactly
two options
how
are
I feel.
Having a really honest conversation and putting your feelings out there.
Yeah.
Or, or doing all of the mental gymnastics associated with sitting in.
So that's generally when I
seat.
fix the ladder.
But you either have to be an adult and put your feelings out there.
Yeah. Well, I really have to hype myself up and be like, I have to talk to you about something. And then I'll feel panicky about it all day. And then I'll be like, because I never know how he's going to receive it. And by that, I mean, not that he receives it wrongly, but if I feel that he doesn't hear me, it is such an effort for me to put myself out there and say the thing and sort of admit that I need help and I don't know how to figure this out, including you. I don't know how to figure you out. That if the response is the blank tree face, which is where they just sit and process and don't really know what to say, that feels like rejection. And then that feels like, see, I knew it. I'm just going to have to figure it all out myself anyway. So that's something I'm working.
Yeah, because maybe you should untether yourself from his reaction and just make sure you are saying the things. It really isn't.
Make him happy or
and
his mind.
It's not your business even. How he receives that. What it is your responsibility to say the thing.
But it feels very unsafe here.
I know. I know, it does.
But which one, in the long run ends up working out better, right? Because one, I feel like then continues to like build resentments and escalate, build resentments and escalate. And the other one is like uncomfortable right now. But then oftentimes like you can come back together and be like, all right. And then the thing just gets done.
Yeah, I don't know. I think some of it is patterns from childhood where I felt as though I had to anticipate my mom being in a bad mood so I could smooth the waters. Yeah. Because once the volatility, once the mood changed, like, again, childhood perceptions. I'm not saying this is 100%, but that's what I perceived. So my go-to has always been I need to anticipate the response. Therefore, I can bring you the proposal or kind of curate the situation so that I get the response that's safe. Because if I just come to you with how I really feel without, and then ask you to show up for me back, that's unpredictable.
Yeah.
But have you ever communicated that portion of it?
Stop asking me these questions.
Oh.
You know? Like, if you let him know, like, hey, I often do this because I am trying to avoid this other thing, then maybe
so I
you can...
think I feel as though I've tried to say that, but probably not quite so straightforward.
Do you do a lot of skirting? You skirt around the issue.
Oh, I'm like
like just dancing around in a dress.
I don't know that I skirt, but I try and show that I am being as
sarcasm comes with most of your requests.
Oh, stop it! That's not even fair.
No, I actually don't do sarcasm, but I try and probably overly show that I understand. I sort of try and disclaimer all of it. Like just
I know
saying,
you're really busy at work and you're
yes,
stuff, but this is also what if you just tried being like, I need this in this amount of time.
Yes, because I feel that I have to help him navigate to a place where he doesn't feel overwhelmed and like he can give me, because it goes back to the thing where I always think that, well, I should have to provide all the things and do all the things. No one else should be held to that standard. That's not fair to ask anybody else. But I can handle it, so therefore I should.
It turns out you can't handle it.
No, I can't. So now I'm just starting to say, like, look, and it's easier to do it at work because it feels a little safer there and sort of people are paid to be there.
Is it hard at work for you to like ask the people you work for and be like, hey, I need this task done by this time?
Yeah, but she's been working on this.
Yes, but it's been
to put a little checky box.
It's a lot better at work, but I never did that before, which is one of the reasons I didn't want to manage a team.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh, no. I don't want to have to tell their people because I feel like I'm just dumping my responsibility onto them. And then, so it started
that you can't actually do everything all
Turns
the time.
out, weird.
Turns out,
so
and if
weird.
you just say like, hey, if someone could do this,
yes,
someone ends up being you.
Correct.
So you have to be like,
volunteering. Yes.
Jenna, I need this done. And you are the person who shall do it. And then once it is done, you shall tell me by this date and time.
Okay, I feel like we're not done with this conversation, but I feel like this is a good part to her. So
we're going to stop right here. Yeah.
And then you guys are going to have to wait to come back to hear how Kelly and Shali tell me how to be a big adult.
Maybe you could like employ some of these tactics and then let us know how it goes.
Sure.
You'll be like, you're you're never invited back again.
Well, okay, we're going to leave you on this cliffhanger. But in the meantime, maybe start thinking about things that sort of the unwritten contracts that you might have with other people.
Unwritten contracts. I like it.
Yeah, with your friends, with your partners, with your parents, maybe unwritten contracts that you feel like other people have with you. Because I think it's just as important to sort of call those out and be the disruptor in some of those pairings as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
Oh, gosh. So good. So
More
good.
to come.
Later, taters.
Bye. Thanks for letting me play with you. Oh, you'll be back soon.
It would be audacious of you to do a few quick things for you and for us. First, hit that follow or subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Then, share this with someone who needs a little more audacity in their life. And if you're feeling generous, leave us a review and a 5-star rating. It helps way more than you think. Want more? Head to theaudacityeffect.com for episodes, our favorite things, and merch. And don't be a stranger, come hang out on IG at @the_audacity_effect.